Hello, hello, hello. I'm Andrea Stevens,
And I'm Jeanette Mejias, and we are Web's Women.
where exposure brings strength. My voice is extra low these days because I lost it.
I'm sure the family's not complaining about that.
No, I haven't said too much at all in the past few days.
Well, you sound good. So you want to be a little gentle with yourself, and it's good to see you on the screen. How
You
are you
too.
besides your voice being on the
I'm
down low?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I'm getting over a sinus thing too. So
Yeah, you sound a
seems
little
like,
more nasally. Yeah.
yeah, doesn't it sound very sexy and that low, deep voice and
Oh
raspy?
boy, there she goes. There she goes.
I'm gonna sing something like Pat Benatar.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, we know you leave the singing up to when we have guests, so we know how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exciting. But I like to sing all the time, so but I'll
Yes, you
pass.
do.
I'll
Yes,
pass today though. But it's good to see you. You had a good weekend.
I
You do.
did. I just came off a really wonderful retreat that, as you know, Barb Klein was one of our featured guests
Mhm.
earlier this year, and she runs all types of different retreats in New York. And so
Mhm.
I drove to Rochester, New York, 5 hours and 20 minutes. Thank you.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it was worth it. I do like long drives. I feel I can decompress. That's kind of where I think the loudest in
Mm.
my drives. And it was nice because it was a time for myself to remember, reset, reflect. And, I think as a caregiver, as a mother, as a professional, as a friend, and all the different roles that I serve, um, it's important to work on yourself and do the work and give
Yeah.
yourself permission to pause because oftentimes when we're juggling so many things, we can lose sight of that. And I know for myself, I was noticing my irritability was getting, more and more.
Mhm.
The fatigue, the exhaustion, um, not being able to focus all over the place. And sometimes, I can be that way if I have a lot going on. And so this was a good reminder
Mhm.
and a good way to honor myself. And I'm really glad I did it. I always say there's always a slight cost when I give myself that type of break because, as my mom lives with me full time, and I have to secure respite care, putting her in a
Mhm.
nursing facility for basically care. And then she just, it's hard for her because um, once she transitions out of there to come back here, it's like she just loses some skills that she already
Yeah.
had when she went in there. All of a sudden, those skills are gone, or she's irritated. She's
Mhm.
not talking as much, and um, so thankfully I
Yeah.
was smart enough to take the day off, the day that I did pick her up because I kind of had a feeling that things weren't going to transition so smoothly for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too bad, I mean, we had our moments, but it's a reminder, and I just have to be cognizant of the fact that these are the days, some days
Yeah.
are going to look very different, even if I'm not transitioning her from one environment to another. This is part of her diagnosis and things I
Yeah.
know will start to decline, um,
Yeah.
as time goes on. But you know how
Yeah.
it is. You got to get your armor on and you got to fill your cup, as
Yeah.
it's just
I
like
saw my grandmother this weekend. And you could tell the difference between the last time I saw her and this time with her remembering things and asking the same questions and those kind of things. So yeah, you know, it's there's a change, you know, a daily change sometimes. So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my weekend and I feel good. Um I feel good. How about you? I know you were off and about and I know
Yes.
you were doing
Yeah.
some stuff, keeping busy.
Yeah, I was off on a business trip, but I definitely I went by myself, right? So, and it was in my hometown. So normally when I go back, I bring my son or the dogs or, sometimes the family goes, but I typically will go with my son and the dogs. And this time I went alone and I was like, nobody's coming with me. I need my time. And that you were right with the drive. The drive really gives you that time, that space. You can blare the music as loud as you want and sing to your heart's content and dance in your car alone if you feel the need. But that to me gets out a lot of my anxiety and, anything that I have going on, it's a release for me, that drive. Just the drive alone, I could probably just drive there and drive back without staying and feel energized.
Yeah, and that's interesting that you share that same, you know, that same feeling because there's a lot of people that can't tolerate drives. They don't look at drives as a time to, be with themselves. They look at it as like it's painful for them to even
Yeah.
drive beyond 30 minutes. But again, you're talking about these are people who typically commute, driving every day. I don't drive every day,
Yeah.
but even when I did drive every day and I had trips that, was maybe 2 hours, I had to be in another, you know, um, city here in our state, but
Hmm.
it was a two
Yeah.
hour drive, or I had to go to AC, or I had to be in Vineland, or whatever. I would I would get excited about that because I'm like, okay, good. I get time for me because to
It's
your point,
peaceful. I think it's peaceful.
I do too, and I notice the surroundings and all of that. I'm just very aware of all that. So I'm glad. I'm glad that you did that. How ironic that the both of us selected the same weekend to do, to be,
Mhm.
away from our family and to do the things that
Yeah.
best
We were
serve.
both in upstate New York too, my
Yes.
neck of the woods.
Yes, absolutely. And I was that girl that on my ride home stopped at the gas station in New York and sat there for 20 minutes wondering where the hell's the gas attendant. I was already like, what is going on, man? There's nobody here. There's
You're
no
not in Jersey anymore.
I, I kind of thought Jersey, was very similar to New York, but apparently we're in a class of our own. We're the only state that has gas attendants. So.
Yeah, you get your own shit in New York. It's fend for yourself,
Yeah, I
baby.
know.
Fend for yourself.
And for yourself. Yeah. Thankfully, I was able to do that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just to myself. So what do you want to talk about, Andrea?
You know what we were talking before we even started the podcast, we were talking a little bit about um priorities
Yeah.
and being busy, especially like it's holiday time, right? January's coming. Plus, everybody's trying to get prepared for the new year. And then they're looking at, oh gosh, it's at the end of December, right? It's like, we got to get our taxes. Everything starts going crazy. And I think a lot of times we say we're busy. We're too busy to do this or we're too busy to do that. But really in the end, is it busy or is it we decide what's a priority for us. And why do we feel like we have to tell people we're busy? Like everybody's busy, right? We're all busy. But what we choose to make a priority, I think, is or what we have to choose. You know what I mean? We already sometimes you've already had something that you've chosen to do. And if you add this to your plate, it's just too much. And instead of saying you're busy, just say it's too much. I'm not doing it. It's not a priority and I can't do it. And that can be okay. A no is okay, right? And you don't have to make an excuse that I think that we're busy because we're all busy.
I agree. I think busy is a very over utilized word. And I think that it best serves to say that's just not a priority for me right now. Really. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not that it sounds harsh, it's just that you have to pick and choose what you're going to
right.
devote your time.
Yeah,
Everybody's time is extremely valuable. And as you said, there's a lot happening. In fact, like in my mind, I was looking at the calendar month of December and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Planning and saying yes to these things. Or I just was not thinking. It's like I have something going on almost like every weekend this month. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
right before
Yeah.
right before well, including Christmas, of course, you have things going on Christmas. You're with your family, or however you
Yeah.
spend it. But when I look at it, I have something going on this Saturday. I have something going on the following Saturday. I have something going on. Well, it's Christmas then at that point. And then it's New
Right.
Year's Day on that. Well, New Year's Day, I got nothing going on but sleep, but and
Yeah.
rest. But in my mind, I'm like, but to your point though, I made it a point to carve out that time because it meant
Right.
something for me to have that time
Right.
in the
Yeah.
calendar and participate in that event because it's
Yeah.
something that I
But everybody knows what's too much for them.
right.
Okay. And everybody's different, right? So like for me, we were talking about this coming week and and I'm like, I got to get through this week first. I mean, my son's been sick all week, I got to get through his concert that he's supposed to have at the end of the week. And I got to get through, okay, we were talking about dinner Tuesday night. And can I really do that when Wednesday morning I got to get up, get my son to school and get to another Christmas function that's going to go on for a couple of hours? Do I have enough in me to do all of this? And if it's too much for me, which I know it is going to be, I thought my mother was also going to be here and she's not going to be here now. So there's other things to factor in, but is it a priority or is it just too much for me? And it's too much for me sometimes. And I have to be willing to say it's too much instead of doing it all and saying yes to everything. And then all of a sudden I'm overwhelmed. My mindset has, you know, gone haywire. And then I'm scrambling to get back on track. So everybody knows, I think, what is good for them, too much for them, etc.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to, invite or or contribute to an already, stressful schedule.
Right. Right.
If you
Right.
have already your schedule's pretty accounted for,
Right.
you don't want to be in this space of, well, wow, like I really want to go, but
I
now I got
want to
this
go.
going on.
Right.
So then you have
And
to
then
say,
I'm traveling a week
right,
later again. You know what I
you have
mean?
to
So it's like,
pick.
okay, it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, you got to pick. You got to pick, what's going to work for you. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. And this is a season. I mean, I always find that this is the season where things get really, um, it gets hectic. Everybody's scrambling. I have to say this is probably the first time ever in the history of ever that I've pretty much accomplished all of my shopping. I think I have if I have
Mm,
4 people left, that's a lot. And I
yeah.
wanted to do that because I was always, you know, last minute Nelly, and I'm tired operating that way
Yeah.
because it's not good for my health. That just causes all kinds, talk about anxiety.
Yeah.
When you're waiting last minute to go get a gift or wrap it,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, I can't live like that.
Yeah. And I'm not done at all, but I'm also going to end up bringing a bunch of my gifts to, back to New York when I go, which I'm going right after Christmas. So I'm going to I'll be having a few weeks of prizes, a few weeks of gathering prizes and wrapping. And yeah. So it's all good. I have it in my head what needs to be done. Right. But
Mhm.
when I have to add more things to my plate, I start to get stressed out.
Yeah. Oh, this is a season for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got to stay in my Zen mode with my CBD, stay in my Zen
Speaking
mode.
of CBD, I have to
Yeah.
order gummies again. I think I only have like, I don't know, one left maybe.
Oh, yeah, you better get them.
One serving left, I think.
One serving, you better get on it.
Yeah, but I have I have
I'll personally deliver to you though.
oh, I feel so
I will
sad.
make that a
I have
priority
the drops though.
to
That's the
deliver.
reason I'm not going bananas because then,
Yeah. But I'd like to see you during the holiday season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have some lovely time off, so I most certainly can meet you halfway or, you know, or whatever. But yeah,
Yay.
I think our message, to the folks listening is really define what is busy to you. And
Be okay with the priorities that you set.
yes,
Don't feel guilty. Because I'm not going to lie. Is there some guilt there for me? Yes. Cause I want to go, but is it going to be too much for me? So that's not just one thing. It's everything because can you do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to meet here? Do you want to meet for, and I have to say no at some point. You can't say yes to everything and
no,
then lose yourself in the process. It's okay
mm,
to pick your priorities and make your choices, you know?
I love that. That is like, you couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, that's it. That's the message, and I hope that for those who are listening in, really lean in to that and take that with you because that's so important. We need to really embrace these kind of messages because it's meant for you to you know um, internalize the message, and move forward.
yeah.
Well, Andrea, as always, it was so great to chat with you. I wish
You
you
too.
a wonderful day. I hope that Blake feels a lot better
Thank you.
as
Thank
he's,
you.
trying to get through, his cold. And remember, everybody, you're listening to Web's Women.
Where exposure brings strength.